Dear students, ప్రీవియస్ క్లాస్లో మనం సోలార్ ఎనర్జీ నేర్చుకున్నాం కదా. ఈ క్లాస్లో యూనిట్ 3లో రెండో చాప్టరు విండ్ ఎనర్జీ గురించి నేర్చుకుందాం. అసలు విండ్ ఎనర్జీ అంటే ఏంటి? వాట్ ఈజ్ విండ్ ఎనర్జీ? ఇంట్రడక్షన్ ఆఫ్ wind. Wind is a atmospheric air in motion. Air is moving from one place to another place in atmospheric air. It has become energy source. This is a wind energy is a energy source moving from one place to another place. Sun produces 4 into 10 power 6 26 joules of electromagnetic radiation in every second that is radiated into space, and about 2% of sunlight that falls on the earth is transformed to wind energy. That means 2% of the sunlight is transformed into wind energy. That is the main cause of the wind energy is sunlight, and we provides around 1% of the world electricity. Using this wind energy, we provide 1% of the electricity globally. Growth rate. Here two graphs are here. In 2010 and 2015, worldwide electricity generation using wind power, roughly 4,32,883 megawatt energy, electric energy is generated from the wind energy. An increase of 17% of electric energy using wind power 2010 to 2015. In 2013, the wind power is 35,467 megawatt. In 2014, 51,447 megawatt, and 2015 it is increased to 63,330 megawatts. In 2020, it gradually increases and now it is nearly 80,000 megawatt. And process of wind creation. How to process wind creation? Wind is caused by differences in the atmospheric pressure. When a difference in atmospheric pressure exists, air moves from the higher to the lower pressure area, resulting in winds of various speeds. That means wind is flowing from higher pressure area to lower pressure area. So wind is moving from higher pressure area to lower pressure area. So sometimes our meteorological departments are causes us there is a low depression forms in the Bay of Bengal. That means low depression means there is a pressure is very low, pressure area very low. That means the winds are coming from higher pressure area to lower pressure area. That means wind speed is increases that time. At cyclone times, wind pressure is increases. There are two major driving forces of wind pattern are the differential heating between the equator and the poles. There is a difference between the temperature difference between the equator and poles. Here equator, that is a roughly 45 to 50 degrees centigrade. At that same time at poles it is a less than 0 degrees centigrade. There is a temperature difference between the equator and poles. This difference of temperature is absorption of solar energy. So this is due to rotation of the earth, rotation of the planet. So each second the sun releases an enormous amount of radiant energy into the solar system, some of it reaches the earth. That means strikes the equator directly. Sunlight strikes the equator directly, gives it is the most radiation, and diffuses along the north and southern hemisphere. And sunlight diffuses along the northern and southern hemisphere. The poles receive the lowest amount of radiation, received by the poles. So there is at no temperature is very low at the poles. And the radiation from the sun hits the earth's surface. So the sunlight, due to the sunlight, earth surface is, temperature of the earth surface is gradually increases. That heat of the earth surface is increases. Due to this heating process creates temperature difference between the land, water, air, due to the different physical properties, that is a density, varies the density. So hot air rises, it expands, becomes less dense, and is then replaced by denser air. So denser polar air. So hot air increases, hot air rises, that means the density of the hot air is decreases. It is a low density, so it expands, and this denser air is replaced by cooler air. And heated air rises from the equator and moves north and south in the upper levels to the atmosphere and circulates about the cooler air. So wind is formed due to the phenomena called Coriolis effect. The tendency for any moving body on the above the earth surface to drift skyways from its course because to the earth's rotation, because of its earth's rotation. So wind is formed due to the phenomena Coriolis effect. What is Coriolis effect? Coriolis effect is explained using this diagram. Here surface of the wind on the surface of the earth, due to the heat from the earth rises, the wind is flowing upwards to from the earth surface, and is it moving due to the solar energy earth is heating. So that heats from earth and moving upwards to the earth and flow into right side, and that right side, that is a cooling air, is moving downwards and flowing air on the water surface. So moving of the wind formation from one place to another place is gradually moves from heat earth surface to the water levels. So this is the wind energy formation, So what is Coriolis effect? Explains this diagram. Here is a globe. Equator, central line is a equator, and upper layer northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Here causes by earth rotation, caused by this Coriolis force is due to earth's rotation. We know earth is moving self-rotation from west to east. So this, due to this rotation, the Coriolis force at the northern hemisphere is in clockwise direction, and the southern hemisphere is anti-clockwise direction. That is a right to and right side in the northern hemisphere and left side in the northern hemisphere. So the apparent deflection of moving objects relative to an observer on the earth. There is apparent deflection of the moving object relative to the observer on the earth. We observe from the earth the relative movement of this air. Now, in this chapter, mainly we are learning about the wind turbines. That means the wind energy is converted into electrical energy using this wind turbines. This wind turbines is nothing but a rotating machine that can be used to generate electricity from the kinetic power to the power of the wind. That is, the kinetic power of the wind is converted into kinetic energy of the wind is converted into electric energy. That is, using this rotating machine is nothing but a wind turbine. Unlike aircraft propeller, turn is moving air, power the electric generator, supply electric current. Like aircraft propeller also turning moving air and power the electric generator and supply electric current. We are using fans. In these fans, electricity is converted into air, wind energy, and in turbines, wind energy is converted into electricity. And wind rotates the turbine blades. These turbines, wind turbines, have blades. These blades are moving using the wind. So this spins a shaft connected to a generator. The spinning of the shaft in the generator makes electricity. In this wind turbines, there is a shaft and blades, and there is a generator. So this wind rotates the turbine blades and spins the shaft connected to the generator, and spinning of the shaft in the generator makes electricity. So electricity increases the number of blades in the windmill. Windmill is nothing but the wind turbine. So electricity depends on the number of the blades in windmill. So electricity is increases as the number of the blades increases. How they are increases we can discuss. Now here one blade turbines, two blade turbines, three blade turbines. What is the main advantage? What is the advantage to the one blade or two blade or three blade? Here, if you use one blade rotor must move more rapidly. One blade rotor move rapidly, and gearbox ratio reduced. So there is only one blade, so gearbox ratio reduced, and higher speeds means more noise and other impacts. Due to only one blade, it moves very high speed. So due to this high speed, there is a more noise and other impacts also. So that is a disadvantage, and it captures 10% less energy than two blades design. If you take two blades design, it captures 10% of less energy and ultimately provides no cost savings. If one blade is a disadvantage, it is only one advantage, gearbox ratio is reduced, but there are three disadvantages using this one blade. If you use two blade rotor must move with higher, more rapidly, rotor must move more rapidly, and high speed means more noise and other impacts. It is also higher speed, so it also noise and other impacts. Needs shock absorber because of gyroscopic imbalance. This is a needs a shock absorber due to there is some gyroscopic imbalance using these two blades. So it captures 5% less energy than three blade design. So it captures 5% less. That is a 10% less than the 2-blade. Here 2-blade is a 5% less energy than 3-blade design. So now 3-blade design. This is a 3-blade design is a gyroscopic balances. Gyroscopic forces are balanced in this 3-blade design and is a slower rotation and increases gearbox and transmission cost and most aesthetic, less noise, fewer bird strikes. This 3-blade design is less bird strikes, but in a 2-blade and 1-blade there is a more bird strikes. So due to these bird strikes also the blades are damaged sometimes. So this is the design of 1-blade, 2-blade and comparison of these three. And here some diagrams of the 3-blade windmills. Here is a first diagram is a small turbine. In this small turbine it generates less than 1 kilowatt power. So this is uses in homes, grid connected. It is a domestic purpose electricity is generated using this small turbine and is also using in farms and remote applications in the forest and upper hills. We are using these small wind turbines and medium wind turbines. This is the intermediate wind turbines. Is a 10 to 500 kilowatt generation. These windmills are used in village power and one village. If you need electricity in one village, the intermediate wind turbines are using, and these are hybrid systems and distributed power. Here these are the and finally these are large wind turbines 500 kilowatt to 5 megawatt energy for generation of 500 kilowatt to 5 megawatt. We are using large wind turbines in central station wind farms, distributed power, offshore wind. It is the more advantages. In our country, the wind energy is generated in Tirumala Hills and west and east coast of the Tamil Nadu, and here seashore there is so much of wind. Due to that wind, the windmills are working more and generated more energy. And here there are two types of wind turbines. One is vertical axis wind turbines, another one is the horizontal axis wind turbines. Here horizontal axis wind turbines are using in our country, and vertical axis turbines are using in western countries. Here what is the difference between these two? The vertical axis turbines, rotating axis of the wind turbine is vertical or perpendicular to the ground and primarily used in small wind projects and residential applications. This is using in small wind projects and residential applications, powered by wind coming from all 360 degrees, no yaw mechanism. So ideal for installation where wind conditions are not consistent. Wind conditions are not consistent or due to public ordinances, the turbine cannot be placed high enough to benefit from steady wind. These are some restricted areas we can install this vertical axis wind turbines. Here horizontal axis wind turbines. This is horizontal rotating axis of the wind turbine, horizontal or parallel to the ground and primarily used in big wind applications and able to produce more electricity from a given amount of wind. And the disadvantage of this horizontal axis, however, is that it is generally heavier and it does not produce well in turbulent winds. So this is horizontal axis system is a advantage, more advantage than the vertical axis system. So this is a primarily horizontal axis system is primarily used in a big wind applications and able to produce more electricity. These are the wind axis, vertical axis and horizontal axis wind turbines. Comparison between these two horizontal axis wind turbines HAWT and vertical axis wind turbines VAWT. Here is some factors are here. There is a comparison between these two. So here is some properties factors: power generating efficiency in 50 to 60% in horizontal and above 70% in vertical. Steering mechanism of wind, here is yes, there is no. Here is some advantages, some comparisons between the proper factors of the horizontal and vertical axis system. And we can stop here, and next class we can discuss about the working principle of the wind turbine, how to generate electricity using wind turbine, or what are the different parts of the wind turbine, how it is works. We can discuss it in a next lesson. Thank you very much.